Yo, yo, yo. Yo, yo, yo. Yo, yo, yo. Yo, yo, yo. My hat's like a little crooked for some reason, which is strange. I don't think we've done the hat and the readers. I don't think we've done the hat reader combo yet. The hat reader combo. Oh, no. Oh, that was okay. That was the notification from last night. I'm like, oh my gosh, that's crazy. Um, been doing some testing for. We're moving this show to YouTube. We are moving this show to YouTube. We're gonna be live on YouTube starting on Monday instead of live on Facebook. And I've been doing some testing, dude. It's freaking bad to the bone. Now I completely understand why people build massive empires by doing shows on YouTube. Like I went live, it was so easy to set it up, and then when I went live yesterday just for a test, it like immediately on my phone, boom, notification, Glenn Lundy's live. Had a thumbnail, had a picture, had the title, everything. Like it wasn't just, on Facebook where you get a mixed in notification. Like this was like on my phone. I wasn't even on YouTube, and just on my phone, boom, gave me a notification with a thumbnail, all the things. Glenn was live. I was like, let's go. Let's go. Probably should have started there 8 years ago. Probably would be in a different position with the show today if that was the case. But hey, best time to plant a tree yesterday, second best time today. So we're going to get after it. But anyways, got a great show for you today. I woke up this morning, 3:40 a.m., went and grabbed my purple cup, got my water, went downstairs, put the headphones on, listened to music with no words, opened my Morning 5 planner. Boom, this guy right here. There's a quote submitted at the top. There's a quote every day submitted by actual members of our community. Today's quote said, "What you tolerate becomes your standard." What you tolerate becomes your standard. And it's so true, right? Because one of the things that I do is I have the opportunity to work with leaders of organizations all around the country. One of the things that I do is help them create standards within their organization. And what is ridiculously apparent across the board is most people will take the path of least resistance. That's just the reality of it. Most people will take the path of least resistance. That's in our nature. That's DNA stuff, right? That's DNA, right? The DNA stuff is take the path of least resistance, like survival. That way you don't waste any time, effort, and energy because we want to survive as long as humanly possible. And so your standards, people are always going to fall to your standards. Simple as that. What's up, Kenny Apaka? How you doing, Frank Knox? People are always going to fall to your standards. We actually have an event coming up, a retreat in Chicago, October 13th through 15th, and it's called Standards Matters. And that's what our standards matter. And that's whoa, hold up. We got to put a pause on everything real quick. I did not know that we have royalty in the building, folks. That's right. Royalty is in the building. Typically a replay viewer, but someone you all know very well. If you've ever been around, if you've been around any amount of time, you know this person in the building, the one and only Mrs. Heather Parody. Mrs. Heather Parody. What's up, Heather Parody? Live in the building today. Let's go. Probably traveling, probably on the road. My friend Heather's in the middle of doing 3 different films right now. 3 different films. I'm excited about all of them, which is amazing. But all of you, do me a favor. Go ahead and say good morning to our friend Heather. She's usually a replay viewer, but she's here today live with us. Heather, thanks for being here. So, we've got an event coming up called Standards Matter. And they really do, man. They really do. So when I read this quote, I'm like, boom, what you tolerate becomes your standard. That's an amen, hallelujah, and that is the truth. And here's the thing, is that doesn't just apply to the people around you. It applies to you too. For real, it applies to you too. You might not like to hear it this morning, but it's the truth. What you tolerate for yourself becomes your standard. If you tolerate and you allow yourself to sleep till that last minute, that's going to become your standard. If you allow yourself to skip those workouts, that's going to become your standard. If you allow yourself to say no to the things you know you should say yes to, if you allow yourself to say yes to the things you know you should say no to, that's going to become your standard. It's not just about the people around you. It's about you too, Dwayne Moser. It's about you too, Kurt McFarland. You feel me? So powerful quote. Thank you, Jody Sorensen, for submitting it. What a way to start our day. Good morning and welcome to the #1 morning show in America. I am your host, Glenn Lundy, husband to 1, father to 9, author, speaker, and the founder of 800%.life. It's 5:30 a.m. and it's time to rise and grind. Hey, good morning, good morning, good morning. How are you, my friend? How are you, my friend? Dude, today is, I just went in like puberty right there. How are you, my friend? Today is Today is Wednesday, August 19th, 2026. That's right. Today is Wednesday, August 19th, 2026. Also known as CMA Day, Carter Myers Automotive Group, most amazing automotive group on the planet. We always celebrate them on Wednesdays, August 19th, 2026. What's crazy is today is the very first and the very last time it'll ever be Wednesday, August 19th, 2026. So I want to make sure we make the absolute most, and I do mean the absolute most of this incredible, incredible day. Coming to you live from Lexington, Kentucky. I don't know what the weather's going to be like today. I know that I was able to put on a hoodie this morning, and that excites me. I also know that all week long, you and I have been talking about teenagers. On Monday, we talked about how the world around them has completely changed, but fundamentally, the things they need haven't changed much at all. These teenagers still need community. They still are starving for connection. They still want romance and laughter and adventure. They want to belong. They want to feel seen. They want to feel heard. They want to feel significant. And yesterday we went a little bit deeper. Yesterday we talked about the question every teenager is trying to answer, which is, who am I? You see, these teenagers, they're experimenting, they're trying things, they're becoming. And I suggested that maybe you and I aren't quite as different from the teenagers as we think we are. Maybe you and I are still becoming too. But this morning, I think we'll take it a little bit further, because there's something else that I've noticed about teenagers that I think is interesting. Teenagers can be incredibly insecure. They can be incredibly, and I mean incredibly self-conscious. I've seen my daughter take 45 minutes just taking a picture. Apparently the first 800 shots that she took the angle just wasn't quite right. I also know teenagers can walk into a room and they instantly wonder who's looking at them, who's talking about them, who likes them, who doesn't like them. And in the midst of all of the insecurities and anxieties and somehow, so on and so forth, somehow teenagers also possess a level of courage that a whole bunch of adults seem to lose. Can I get a hallelujah and an amen? Am I real? Is this real? Or is it not real, right? Like, teenagers will try out for the team even when they suck at the sport. they'll audition for the play even though they might feel weird talking in front of other people. They'll ask somebody to dance even though that's awkward and feels weird. They'll post the ridiculous video. They will wear the ridiculous outfit. My son, yesterday was his first day at public school, high school. My kids have been going to school in pajamas for a decade because they've been homeschooling. And this kid, for those of you that are watching, you can see this is his first day of school outfit. For those of you that are listening, I will describe white Nikes, white Nike ankle socks, short shorts, short Nike shorts, black shorts with a bunch of Nike symbols all over them, short Nike shorts, and a black t-shirt. Now, I don't know about you, but I know for me, first day of school outfits were a big deal for me. First day of school outfit I had to be fly, bro. I had to be GQ. I had to be chic. I had to have it all put together. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was like we going to the club. Like, we were, day one was important. My son, however, is like, shorts, t-shirt, let's go. I'm just like, dang, all right. It's crazy, though. These teenagers, man, they'll start the band. They'll start the band when nobody in the band can actually play an instrument yet. They'll say things like, I'm going to be a YouTuber. My son, Fisher will tell you right now, and Fisher's a tiny little dude at the moment. Tiny little dude. And he'll just tell you, every time he talks to you, he'll tell you that he's going to play in the NFL. That's what he'll tell you. He's smaller than anybody on the planet. He's just a little dude. My sons tend to bloom later. But he's like, bro, I'm going to the NFL. Meredith will tell you she's going to be famous. These teenagers will be like, I'm going to own my own company. I'm going to move to New York. Willow tells us she's moving to New York all the time. I'm going to change the world. Meanwhile, the adults are over here like freaking out, bro. Scared to do anything. Well, the odds are, folks, that, the odds are, son, you're too little. The odds are, Meredith, that you're not going to be famous. Like, you got to get reality. You got to be grounded. You got to keep both feet on the ground. Like, when did we become those people? When did you and I become so freaking scared? That's what I want to talk about today. Before we go too far, though, you know what we got to do on this show. We got to do some dancing on this show. Come on. Let's go. It's time to get those bodies in motion. An object in motion tends to stay in motion. An object at rest tends to stay at rest. If you're new around here, every day on the show, for the most part, 99% of the time, we take some time, do a little bit of dancing. And I don't care where you are in the world. I don't care who's looking. I don't care if your spouse is like, bro, what are you doing? You're crazy. I don't care if you're at the office or your kids are in the back of the car like, Mom, stop. I don't care. If you're on a run, I want you to pick it up. If you're lifting weights, a little extra weight. Like, get your body in motion and get your rear end out of bed. All right? Do it. This is also the part of the show where I need you to hit that share button. I need you to hit that share button. Because I believe if we can change the way people start their day, it'll make a massive impact on this planet. I truly believe that. And sometimes all it takes to change the way somebody starts their day is for you, yes, you, to hit that share button. Last but not least, this is the part of the show where I want to say good morning to you, and I want you to say good morning to me. Whether you're watching this show live or you're watching this show on replay, say what's up, and I'll say what's up back. Of course, drop a like, drop a heart, do all those things too. Debbie Dowling Waba, thank you for being here this morning. I greatly appreciate it. Tanya Robinson, thanks for being here this morning. Breakfast with Champions crew, thank you for being here. I greatly appreciate it. Marilyn Wilkins is in the building. How many times my mom squashed a dream and it made me even more insecure? What's up with that? Gene Hughes, good morning to you. Mike Larkin, good morning to you. Tara Hope, good morning to you. Mike Larkin, I got your, my assistant got your email. She verified with me that I had you email her. That should be getting set up. Julio Soto in the building. Great to see you, Julio Soto. Todd Skelton, the one and only Todd Skelton. What's up, Todd? Great to see you, sir. Hope everything's going well. I know Gina's been on an incredible journey. She's making an impact. I'm sure you are too, Todd. Great to see you. Tony Thorstad's in the building. Robert Pollard, good morning to you. Tony Schmidt, good morning, good morning. Sol Salcido, what up, Sol Salcido? My birthday twin, good morning to you. Denver Gonzalez is in the building. Denver, love you, brother. Thank you for being here. Frank Knox is in the building as well. Great to see you, Frank. What's up, Kurt McFarland? Michael Barrick is in the building. Great to see you. Dwayne Moser is up in here. Liza Myers-Borges in the building. Jamal McCoy, great rising. Great to see you, Jamal. Thank you so much for being here. I greatly, greatly appreciate you. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, couple quick announcements. One, we will be moving this show to YouTube at Glenn Lundy. Starting on Monday, we will be live on YouTube, no longer live on Facebook. We'll also be live on LinkedIn at Glenn Lundy. either place, whichever one you want to go to. I will tell you, YouTube is going to be like our primary hub as far as engagement, interactions, that type of thing. YouTube will be primary. LinkedIn, we will be streaming live, but that will be a secondary feed, just so you know. It's a great place for you to hop in and listen, but might not be as much engagement as there is here now, or as there will be on YouTube. Also want to remind all of you that we have life-changing events here with 800%. We have sales training events, we have leadership events, and then we have stuff specifically for automotive, like our really big events and retreats like the one we're getting ready to have in Chicago here pretty soon. But if you go to 800%.life/events, 800%.life/events, you can see our calendar of events and see which ones might work best for you. All right, so here's what I think happened, all right? Somewhere between teenager and adult, you and I started collecting evidence. We started accumulating evidence. We got rejected. We failed. We lost some money. Someone breaks our heart. We start a business. It didn't work. We made a post. Somebody made fun of us. We stood on a stage. We forgot what we were going to say. We trusted somebody who let us down or stabbed us in the back. We applied for something and we didn't get picked. We got fired. We got divorced. We got embarrassed. And every one of those experiences left behind a tiny little scar. And eventually, over time, we started, you and I, eventually over time, we started calling those scars, write this down if you're a note taker, we started calling those scars wisdom. That's right, we called the scars wisdoms. And here's the thing, sometimes those scars are wisdom, but sometimes those scars are just fear being dressed up as wisdom. And that's a different thing. That's a really, really, really different thing. So let's go back in time a little bit. Do you remember when you didn't know what was impossible? Like, think about this. One of the advantages that teenagers have is that they haven't accumulated enough evidence yet to know all of the reasons why something supposedly can't work. And that's powerful, bro. You see, sometimes we think ignorance, not knowing, is a disadvantage, but ignorance isn't always a disadvantage. That's not the case. Like, obviously, wisdom matters, experience matters, learning from your mistakes matters. Obviously, all these things matter, right? But sometimes experience teaches us the wrong lesson. Sometimes you fail at the business, right? Sometimes you fail at the business, and then you decide, oh, I'm not good at business. And that's not necessarily the case. No, you just had one business that didn't work. Or you have a bad relationship and you decide relationships are not for me. No. You just had one relationship that didn't work. You put yourself out there and somebody laughed at you about it. So you decide, I'm never doing that again. Dude, that's not wisdom. That's one person laughing. That's all that is. That's one person laughing. My dear friend, personal assistant, woman who has helped us build 800% to what it is today, Jessica Bailey. I have this conversation with her all the time because Jessica Bailey likes to lead out. Here's how she likes to lead out. Hey, Glenn, everybody is upset about this, and that. Everybody on the team feels this way. Everybody, every one of our clients is saying this. It's always everybody. That's her word. Everybody's watching this. Everybody knows this. Everybody thinks this. It's always everybody. And I'm like, all right, cool. Jessica, who is everybody? Talk to me. Who is everybody? And she's like, well, two people. I got two messages today about it. I'm like, yo, there's 1,000 people in our program. There's 1,000 people in the program. 2 people? Now, don't get me wrong. We want to make people feel special, important, and like they're the only one. And that's what makes Jessica so special, is she sees each individual and takes it all on. If one person is feeling something, everybody's feeling something. So what I love about her is that she cares that deeply, and that's what's made our business so successful. At the same time, her view of the evidence can be skewed. You see, teenagers, on the other hand, don't have enough history yet to make everything mean something about who they are. You see, they can get cut from the team, and 2 weeks later, they're trying something else. They break up with the love of their life on Tuesday, and by Friday, there's apparently a new love of their life. They reinvent themselves every single freaking month, basically. And sometimes we look at them and laugh, right? But there's actually something incredibly healthy buried inside of it. And I think I've extracted what that is. I'm going to share it with you right now. You ready? It's very profound. The thing that makes teenagers resilient and have the ability and the opportunity and all of these things is they keep moving forward. You see, as adults, we get really good at protecting ourselves. As adults, we become masters of self-protection. Instead of saying, we're scared, right? Instead of saying, I'm scared, we say, I'm just being realistic. We don't say things like, hey, I'm worried I'll fail. No. We say, the timing's not right now. You see, we've gotten really good with our word tracks. We're really, really, really good at convincing ourselves and others of why we're not going to do the thing. But the reality is we're faking wisdom when it's really fear. You see, we don't say things like, I'm afraid they'll reject me. We just say, I'm waiting for the right opportunity. We don't say, I don't want to look stupid. We say, I'm just doing a little bit more research. Dude, research? Some of y'all have been researching for 11 years. Like, some of you have been going, I'm going to for over a freaking decade. Like, how long are you going to do the research? How long are you going to sit upstairs like I used to with 2 shoeboxes on the ground and a golf club and pretend like I was flying a helicopter because I was fascinated by helicopters and I read the books about helicopters and I watched videos about helicopters, but what I never did, or not I want to say never, but what I delayed to do was actually get in a freaking helicopter, take a dang class. Finally, I woke up one day, I'm like, what are you doing, bro? At some point, you got to press the button. At some point, you got to make the call. At some point, you have to start the company. At some point, you got to write the book. At some point, you got to ask the girl. At some point, you got to apply for the job. At some point, you got to make the video. Or in my friend Heather's case, the film, the docu-series. At some point, you got to walk into the room where you do not feel qualified to be. And guess what? You might look stupid while you're there. And that's the price. Because teenagers understand something we forget. When you're young, you're supposed to suck at things. Nobody thinks it's weird when a 14-year-old picks up an instrument and sounds terrible. Of course they sound terrible, we all say. They just picked up the instrument. Nobody looks at the 13-year-old learning to shoot a basketball and says, oh, dude, you should probably stop. You're clearly not NBA material. No. Instead, we say, hey, he's learning. She's learning. But adults, oh, no, not us. No, we're supposed to be good immediately. Like, we don't want to take the dance lessons because we're afraid we'll look stupid. We don't want to learn a new language because we'll sound stupid. We don't want to start creating content because our first videos won't look professional. We don't want to go to the gym because everybody else looks like they know what they're doing and we don't. You see, we don't want to try something new because there's a period in the beginning where we're going to be bad at it and we know it. But of course you're going to be bad at it, dude. You're freaking new, bro. See, there's nothing embarrassing about being a beginner. What is embarrassing is wanting something for 15 freaking years and never trying because you're afraid to look like a beginner. That's what's embarrassing. And now here we are, you, me. Here we are, right? We're in this unbelievable moment in history where AI is giving ordinary people access to tools that would have cost millions of dollars a generation ago. You can create, you can learn, you can build, you can code, you can write, you can make videos, you can launch businesses, you can translate languages, you can access basically the collective knowledge of humanity from something you carry around in your pocket. All of the barriers are disappearing, which means the one biggest barrier that is left is you. You, all of a sudden, Soldier Boy just popped into my head. You, right? That hurts, bro. That's crazy, dude. If you think about it, for thousands of years, people were limited by geography. For thousands of years, people were limited by access to information. For thousands of years, people were limited by money, education. They were limited by who they knew. And now more and more, man, those walls just keep crumbling down, dude. They just keep coming down. But here's the thing. There's one wall that AI can't even tear down for you. Like, AI cannot make you press the publish button on your book. It can't. AI can't make you walk into a room and endure whatever rejection may come from that. AI can't make you risk embarrassment. It can't make you believe. Like, that's still your job, dude. You have to be willing to look stupid first. And I know that's a hard pill to swallow. But if you think about it, every meaningful thing starts out looking a little ridiculous, right? Like in the beginning, somebody had to say, I think humans can fly.
Films made in 1903. The world's first airplane, created by Orville Wright and his brother Wilbur, is about to take flight. Here at Kitty Hawk, North Carolina, this primitive kite made aviation history. With this first catapulted takeoff, man's age-old dream of flight became a reality. Washington, 40 years later. For the year's greatest contribution to American aviation, General Arnold, Chief of the Army Air Forces, is honored with Orville Wright, who in 1911 taught Arnold to fly.
Somebody had to say, I think man can fly. I like how that plane was described as a kite. Somebody had to think, man, like one day everybody's going to carry a computer around in their pocket. That's a ridiculous thought, but somebody had it. Somebody had to think, you know what? People are gonna pay money to sleep in a random person's spare bedroom instead of a hotel. Somebody had that ridiculous thought. You know what? Oh, I know there's hotels everywhere where you can like go in and check in and get a hotel room, but I think people would rather just like pay to sleep in somebody's freaking basement. Dude, it's a ridiculous thought. It's a ridiculous idea until it isn't. Like nearly every freaking breakthrough has a period where the people doing it look crazy. And that's true in your life too, because before something becomes impressive, there's usually a season where it's embarrassing. That's just how it is. Everybody likes the successful entrepreneur, but nobody wants to be the entrepreneur with one customer. Everybody likes the transformation picture that they post on social media when they lost 80 pounds, but nobody wants day one at the gym. Everybody loves the best-selling author. Nobody wants to be the dude staring at chapter frickin' 1, wondering, will anybody actually ever read this book? Everybody celebrates the finished product, but almost nobody celebrates the awkward beginning. And yet there is no finished product without the awkward beginning. So listen, this is the one thing I don't want my kids to ever lose, man. I don't want my kids to be reckless, but I want them to gain wisdom. I want them to develop discernment. I want them to learn from mistakes. I want them to understand consequences. But there is something in them right now that I desperately hope adulthood does not beat out of them. Because I don't want Fisher or Oakland or Caroline or Savannah or Joel or Willow or Hutch or, I think, did I just name them all? I think I did. Savannah, Joel, Willow, Meredith, Fisher, Caroline, Oakland, Hutch. I don't want any of them to stop dreaming gigantic dreams just because somebody tells them they're unrealistic. I don't want them to stop dancing because somebody might laugh at them. I don't want them to stop asking questions because they're worried that the question sounds stupid. I don't want them to stop trying new things because they might fail. I don't want them to build their entire lives around avoiding embarrassment. And I don't want that for you either. Because listen, man, there are some people, like some of you right now are listening to me. You're not actually stuck like you think you are. You're just scared. And there's a difference. Like, you know what to do. You've known for a while. You know the phone call you need to make. You know the conversation you need to have. You know the idea you need to execute. Like, you know the business you need to start. You know the relationship. Like, you know the thing. You've just gotten incredibly, incredibly sophisticated at explaining to yourself why today is not the day. And so if maybe your teenager will call you out on that today, or thinking about a teenager will call you out on that today. If not them, maybe, I don't know, maybe I can call you out today. But like, what would 16-year-old you, Judith, Julio, Trienne, Paul, Mary Lynn, what would 16-year-old you say? Like, if your 16-year-old could see your life right now, what would they think was freaking awesome? Like, I bet there are some things. Maybe you've built a family that 16-year-old you couldn't imagine. Maybe you've traveled places that kids dreamed about. Maybe you've built a company. Maybe you've made money. Maybe you've overcome something. I don't know what it is, right? Maybe you've become someone that the younger version of you would be incredibly proud of. We should celebrate that. But then I want you to ask the other question. What would 16-year-old you be confused by? What would they say? Like, wait, you stopped doing what? But you always wanted to do that. What do you mean you don't play anymore? You don't draw anymore. You don't travel anymore. You don't write anymore. You don't dream anymore. You don't read anymore. Like, why not, dude? What? And you would probably talk to that 16-year-old and you'd say, well, obligations and economics, and I don't have the money for it, and my schedule and my market conditions and da-da-da-da, like, you would say something really, really, really smart, and then your 16-year-old would look at you, and they'd look you straight in the eye, and your 16-year-old would say, yeah, right, Mom, maybe, I think you're just scared. Dad, are you sure you're not just scared? Because that sounds like a whole bunch of freaking excuses. And I think maybe in a lot of ways, that's what we need, right? We need that gut punch. So listen, I'm going to challenge you, man. I want you to do something like just get a little ridiculous, not irresponsible, Not reckless, ridiculous. Do something the younger version of you would think was awesome that you're afraid to do. Like, just take a shot, dude. Try the thing. Try the thing. Write the video. Write that first page. Go to the class. Sign up for that race that you know you're going to suck in. Ask for the job that you know you'll suck at. Tell somebody you love them. Dance terribly, sing loudly, be a beginner, get rejected if you have to. I don't care. But just don't sit on the sideline of your own life because you're afraid of something exterior. Like, if you're afraid people are going to laugh at you, guess what? They're probably going to laugh anyway. They're going to laugh at you for not achieving just as much as they'll laugh at you for trying something new. So, like, people laughed at you a lot when you were a teenager, and somehow you survived. You're still here. You know what I mean? Like, we all went through that awkward teenager thing, and we made it. So maybe growing up is not supposed to mean becoming less courageous. Maybe we're supposed to take the courage of youth and combine it with the wisdom of age. Now that's powerful. The imagination of a teenager with the resources of an adult? What? The curiosity of the teenager with the discipline of the adult? What? The giant dreams of the teenager with the wisdom of the adult? Wait a minute. We put those things together. Look out, bro. Because maybe the goal is not to grow out of the teenager inside of us. Maybe the goal is to equip the teenager inside of us. To give that kid some wisdom, to give that kid some resources, to give that kid some faith, to give that kid some discipline, to give that kid some experience. Don't take away the courage. Don't take away the imagination. Don't take away the willingness to believe that something absolutely incredible could happen next, because it can. Dude, your life is not finished. Your best ideas are still ahead of you. Your greatest relationship is still ahead of you. Your greatest contribution in life is still ahead of you. Your most meaningful season is still ahead of you. And I don't care whether you're 16, 36, 56, 86. As long as God gives you another morning to wake up, there is something you can do with it. So let's be wise enough to learn from our past, but young enough to believe in our future. Take a shot. Risk looking ridiculous. Be willing to be a beginner again. And just remember, you are a child of God, the God of the universe, the God that made everything. And that God made you to be the best version of yourself you could possibly be. Not an average version, not a little bit above average, not a little bit below, but the best. So listen, my name's Glenn, and I'm your friend, and I love you. I do. If nobody's told you yet today, I want to be the first. I absolutely stinking love you. And so I'm going to be the one that I'll wring your neck to be kind as to be cleared. I'll wring your stinking neck and say, let's go. Keep moving. Keep moving. I know you and I got some scars, bro. I get it. Those scars, that doesn't necessarily mean wisdom. Don't get it twisted. Fair? Fair. All right. I'll be back tomorrow morning, 5:30 a.m. We'll do it all over again. Right here on #RiseAndGrind. Have a great day. Peace.